check for tracks or anything of that nature, certainly do that.
I mean, I saw tracks yesterday, right?
Yes.
So, just see the tracks, following them.
All right.
I'm casting that as a ritual.
Okay. Um. Cool. So, looking around, you see. Well, go ahead and make your check.
Survival?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what it was. Fine.
You want to roll your advantage, see if you get the nat 20?
No. I didn't realize I got advantage. Okay.
Okay.
I'll keep my 19.
So, from what you gather, the tracks that you saw yesterday seem to, well, the beings that left the tracks you saw yesterday seem to have left the circle before you reached that point. Since then, they've returned and seemingly done a bit of patrolling around within the circle, and then promptly disappeared in their spot.
Do I know how I would have done this?
Is there soft soil?
Uh, I mean, the entire bottom of the stone circle is essentially like soft soil and clay.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the fucking shit out of where the footprints stop.
Okay. You do so, and there doesn't seem to be anything out of place.
I'm gonna go, ha! Jump and spin around directly 180 and Eldritch Blast your shit out of the place right behind me.
You blast that place and all of the nothing that is in it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look back to Yo and go, well, I'm shot on ideas. What have you got?
Noisy.
No, you.
They were here, and then they went somewhere else, and now they're not here. That's about what I've gathered from this.
I don't know.
Upon looking around, actually, go ahead and Yoan make a perception check. Okay. What you do notice is there's a bit of an indentation and sort of a dry spot in the middle of all this moist ground, and seemingly emanating from it, in what few surfaces would actually be able to show something like this, you see what look like scorch marks. And then a few yards away from where the tracks had ended, you find what could conceivably have once been bits and pieces of humanoid. Dry, burnt, crumbling, partially obscured by the mud and the clay.
Ron, I think you got one.
Hmm?
I point towards it.
Well, I guess I did.
I see anything else that could be.
No, that's really all you got.
Well, there's still a few around somewhere.
Possible.
Wait a minute. I didn't get this one. It's all burnt.
At some point, it was gotten.
Yes, but who did the getting?
Actually, I would say now that you've all kind of pointed that out, anyone who'd like to can make an investigation check.
Okay. I'm gonna investigate the shit out of this. Malkar?
Yes.
Did you want to investigate this with us?
No.
Surprising.
Okay.
All right. So, Ron, with your intimate knowledge of fire spells and what not to do, at least having had quite the clinic put on by that druid yesterday, it seems as though this large fiery event that transpired, it certainly appears to have been a single large casting, and it seems to have been cast at a downward angle.
So he took my advice and killed himself. He killed himself.
Is there a dragon flying around our heads?
You could make a perception check if you'd like.
I think he killed himself. Malkar, would you like a perception check?
I don't even know if my character knows anything about dragons.
I mean, having studied things like Cthulhu as much as you have, you probably at least know that they exist.
Okay, Nope.
You do not see any dragons.
Well, I'm gonna search the bits and pieces. Like, is there anything left?
Not really. They were pretty much obliterated by whatever did this.
Can I search around the area to see if I can find any more obliterated things?
Yeah. Go ahead and
Druid or otherwise?
go ahead and make a perception check.
I would like to as well.
Okay. Wow. Solid 17 with the -1 modifier. Alright. So yeah, as you all kind of root through the remains of whatever it is that happened here, yeah, you find 3, maybe 4 sets of remains. All pretty much burnt to a crisp, partially disintegrated. Hence the uncertainty with the number.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if whatever this blast was magical, or if it was just like a man-made explosion?
Sure.
Come on.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, there is kind of a lingering magic here, but it's, you've seen the magic that's transpired here, so it's hard to kind of tell what would have been from that, if there's anything else that might have happened here.
Can I see if I've... Oh, can I do an Arcana check to see if I may have may know what this spell is, or may have seen it.
Um,
Or I guess that would be a history. But
yeah, I mean, I'd say you could make a history check.
okay. Nope. I've seen fireballs and blasts and everything else.
Did I look and see where the druids went while they were gone?
You didn't, but you could.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay. Following the path that kind of leads out of the circle and sort of off the beaten path, the trail leads down the hillside off to the east, just beyond the tree line, where you see kind of a crude, like makeshift wooden barrier, not even a shelter so much as just a little wall. It would seem they kind of congregated behind and perhaps kept watch from. It would then appear that after a few hours, hard to say, the whole time thing, but after some length of time, they emerged from cover here and went back to the circle. And there was a bit of scrambling around before they all seemed to have at least been standing where they were for a fairly long amount of time before just being blasted.
Is there a spot around the circle where someone might have stood where there's not a body but damage from attacks?
No, you see no traces of anything that couldn't be accounted for with the bits and pieces of charred remains that you see here.
I don't know. At least they can't wreak any more havoc.
Oh, look at Melkar. Did you do that? Did you do this? I said, did you do this? Like, not picking up.
I didn't do that.
Oh.
Maybe Rictavio did.
But he was with us, wasn't he? And he'd have said something this morning if it was him. Do you see any other footprints of anybody coming in? Yoan?
Nope.
No. Want to just chalk it up to we killed them?
They're dead, so let's just say they're dead.
I want to take one more look at the tree.
Okay.
Like, just kind of peek over at it. It's still dead, and it's still on the ground, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you guys burnt the shit out of it last time, so like, yeah, there's barely anything left. It's pretty much just cinders at this point.
There's no little sapling or anything sticking out of the ground.
No,
right?
you don't see any sign of any sort of recovery. I mean, you guys, you burned it down, you burned it some more, you went down and burnt up the roots. This thing seems pretty well taken care of.
Okay. Maybe they lost their way and killed themselves. You said there was like a little structure that they hid in at one point, right?
More like behind. It was just kind of a makeshift wall just beyond the tree line.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't okay. Well, I guess I want to go over there and take a look at that. Is there anything there?
Find a couple small animal furs. It's about it.
I'm gonna piss on him.
Okay, Scanlan.
Just, just as a little token of my appreciation to them.
I don't think I'll ever get it.
Nope, but don't care. Makes me feel better. Okay, well, shall we head back?
Nothing to do here.
Yep.
All right. So back to the winery then.
Yep.
Back to the winery.
All right. You make the trip pretty uneventfully. Back along the path to where the winery is. You can see a few of the Mardukov family are out tending to the fields a bit, trying to get things back in some semblance of working order. And Rictavio's wagon is still parked out front.
I will head up to Davian. And as a side note, just out of character for a minute, I just realized Danica was part of this family as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She was the Raven bitch, right? Or at least a supporter.
Yeah, I mean, you'd never seen her transform into a raven, but, I mean, she was friends with Sophia, who you had certainly seen do that, and, yeah, I mean, there's at least some friendship, kinship there, if nothing else.
Okay. I'm going to... Alright, this newfound knowledge, player knowledge, I'm gonna walk up to Davian and say, yes, we killed the rest of them. It was quite easy. As you can see, none of us even took any damage.
Someone else killed them. We found them dead.
I glare at Yoan.
Yoan doesn't care.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, they were already dead.
That is because I killed them. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, and upon seeing the conflict of sorts in the party and waiting for you all to kind of work it out, well, I am simply glad that it is taken care of. Yes. So, what will you do now?
Probably go stop in and see what's going on with Danica.
You dropped.
Oh, sorry. Probably go in and stop in and see what's going on with Danica.
All right. He kind of just gives you a what's the best way to put this? It's sort of a surprised look.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna stand there and kind of see if he has anything else to say.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, he just seems pretty surprised, I suppose, by the association. After a pause, he then says, And what is your association, Danica?
Met her through a mutual She's kind of a, I don't know. We've been staying at the inn. Beyond that, it's just, you know, it's about it. She's been telling us what's been going on in town and stuff. Well, why do you ask?
Well, she is family to us, and well, I've not heard from her in quite some time. But she was well last time you spoke, yes?
More than well, she had made friends with Raven people.
I see. By Raven people, you mean what exactly?
You know, the people that turn into ravens? You haven't seen that? You haven't seen any ravens that turn into people?
Well, I am sort of familiar with the idea, yes, but all right. So then, he pauses as though thinking.
And this time I lean forward and I say, "Are you a raven person?"
I'm just standing back there with my head in my hands, just absolutely clueless on what to do. This cluelessness.
I'm also face palming.
All right.
That moment when the entire party face palms.
Indeed. All right. So he just kind of leans in and says, "If I were a raven person, or whatever you think this thing is, would I tell you?"
No, probably not. I mean, I think it's cool.
I speak into the guy's mind, saying, "You seem awfully secretive. Are you after my secrets?"
He looks over at you, and as though he's still kind of struggling with this whole, mental messaging thing. He's like, secrets?
Oh, don't you play coy.
Well,
At this point, can I turn into a tabby cat?
Sure.
I look over and just. Wait. What? As I see her transforming, and then he turns into a cat, and I'm like, huh. Yeah, like that. Can you do that?
He looks over at the cat, and then back at Ron, and he says, "Well, that is certainly a strange question to ask, is it not?"
I'm just curious. I mean, we're strangers in this new area. I don't know anything. I'm just trying to figure out who's who. Or what.
Please, this room.
Well, I suppose you have proven yourselves competent and of relatively sane mind. Kind of strangely enough, looks more at the cat as though the cat is the most sane one in the room right now. And it says there may be a certain condition in our family.
I clap my hands together eagerly.
He just
So
kind of
are-
looks at you with a single raised eyebrow.
So wait, are you related to
Cat
Sophia?
shaking head.
And what'd you say, Ron?
I said, are you related to Sophia as well?
We are not all related, you know.
You said it's a family condition.
Not only the family, just
Oh.
most of the family.
And what is it? Like, are you just... I'm just trying to get an idea.
It is something that has affected our bloodline. I am unsure the exact origin, but it affects, well, all of us. He kind of gestures across the property of Wizard of Wines, as though to suggest that everyone here is affected by whatever it is. And, well, my son, Irvin, who you may have seen working at the Blue Water in the kitchen, the
I don't think I've met
husband,
him yet.
the husband of Danica.
Wait. You said that's your son?
Yes, Irvin is the co-owner of the Blue Water.
Oh, Danica married into the family.
Yes.
Gotcha. Huh.
I speak into Ron's mind. Should I send this guy to the farm realm now?
You what? No? That's my reply. And then I send a message back to him saying, "We gotta talk about this. I'm interested. But later."
I just rub my hands together in a sinister way.
And I look back at him at Davian, and say, "Oh, it's interesting. I mean, I know are there any other types of changing people that you know of?"
Well, there are those that serve the Devil Strahd. They take on the form of the wolf.
Oh. Okay. I can type. There we go. Okay. Good to know. Any others?
None to my knowledge.
Okay, so we should avoid the wolves if possible.
Yes.
Got
Would you
it.
not always avoid the wolves?
What?
Would you not always avoid the wolves?
I mean, I'm starting to avoid ravens too at this point, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting used to the whole every animal's a person.
I say into Ron's mind, you think this is crazy? You haven't seen anything yet.
I physically turn and look at Melkar and cock an eyebrow as if to say, really?
Just give him a slight nod.
I message him and say, we'll have to talk later. You've got me thoroughly interested now. So, I'm interested in warping my mind. So, and I'll turn back to Davi and say, okay, is there anything you want us to take to your son and Danica, or any message or anything? Other than obviously you guys are okay and
Well, you say they need wine, yes?
lots.
Not much, but take the 4 barrels that we have in the cart, the loading bay.
I look at Yoan. Are you gonna pull?
I walk over to the sunny patch and lay down.
And the cat stuff.
Oh, that's right. You're a cat.
Wait, you're a cat?
I realize how stupid that was of me to ask if a cat would be able to pull. I look back at Davi and say, well, neither I nor Melkar here have the inner fortitude to be able to pull something such as this.
Speak for yourself.
At this point, you hear a...
Melkar falls on his face.
You hear the thin, reedy voice from behind you. Well, you know, I suppose I could be of some assistance.
Oh, hey, Octavio. Okay.
So, you aim then to go back to Vallaki and see what has transpired since your last visit there, yes?
Well, you know what they say, some people just want to watch the world burn. I prefer to have a front row seat. But yes, I definitely do want to go back and at least see what's going on, see if there's anything we can do to either quell or aid in the situation.
Very well. Not the most welcoming of locales these days, but I suppose it is probably for the best. So, did I hear that we have, 3-4 barrels of wine?
Something like that, yeah.
I think I can make some room. Thinks for a moment and just kind of nods, almost, approving the plan that he's formulating in his head.
On a positive note, at least Yoan's not going to take up much space.
Are you calling me fat, sir?
I said Yoan, not you.
Yeah, it said she's not going to be taking up space, like as if I am.
Because Yoan went from a big-ass fucking orc to a small cat.
So Yoan is slender, Malachi's fat. Gotcha.
Yep. I ain't calling Melkar big boned or anything, but when I walked nearby, I thought I felt an orbit.
Indeed. Alright. So, upon listening to you bicker for a moment, Rictavio chimes back in and says, so, when would you like to depart then?
I look at my fate, where a watch would be. Yeah, I'm good whatever.
Very well. Let's load up, and if none of you have any other business to attend to here, we can begin making our way back.
Okay.
And suddenly, nope, Alcar is, suddenly Yoan is no longer a cat.
Suddenly. Just-
Big orc falls out.
Alright. So yeah, after, probably 10-15 minutes just getting everything squared away for, transporting the wine and making sure you've collected all your things from around the winery. Rictavio is ready to go. And it's a bit cramped given that he really only has room for one passenger kind of at the front of the wagon. But, you can the rest of you can kind of make do, sitting on the roof making sure to hang on tight. And
This is just the one wagon, right? The one with the thing in it.
yeah.
I'll suggest, hey, maybe can one of us ride with it?
No.
If you think you can get along well, but I'll have you know I claim no responsibility for what may happen.
Let me give it a shot. I'm gonna actually go around. There's no like actual windows that you can see in, right?
No, there are no windows. There's like a single, several times over locked door, like barred, barricaded, the whole deal. And then there's a hatch at the top of the wagon that you've heard Rictavio uses to feed the thing.
I start casting. Do I have it? Is this spell? I start casting Speak with Animals as a ritual.
Okay.
And I'll Ron to wait until I can speak to him.
Okay.
All right. So 10 minutes pass.
So I'm just gonna say, hello again. Do you remember me?
There's kind of a confused, like, huh?
We spoke, I don't know, a week ago?
Oh, you're that, well, what are you? Human?
Half orc.
Right. Well, hello again.
Well, we're pretty cramped up here, and my friend is thinking about trying to ride with you, but he doesn't want to be snacked on or anything.
He's not one of the fancy people, is he?
I turned to Ron. Are you a fancy person?
I wouldn't call myself fancy. As I take off my little glasses and put them in my pocket. No, definitely not.
He doesn't say he's a fancy person.
And my human says he's okay?
Yes.
Alright, but don't let him take up too much space.
I turned to Ron. He says you can ride with him, but you can't take up too much space. And I said,
No space
Thank
at
you.
all.
I guess you can go down.
Alright.
I want to go with him and see what it is.
No, Malkar, you stay out.
I'm not going in it. I just want to look, see if I can see it.
Oh.
Don't
Okay.
speak in the top.
And they say, hey, Yoan, you don't have good berries, do you? I've seen some druids do that.
No, not on me.
Okay. Hey, Octavio, do you have a piece of food or meat or anything that you usually feed this guy?
He says, one moment. He kind of shuffles through some of the stuff that's kind of strapped down now to the wagon.
I just
And,
need a tiny little morsel.
all right, yeah, he pulls out like a maybe like half fist size little hunk of meat, and yeah, hands it over.
That'll do. Um, okay. Should I just open the top and jump down, or?
If you think that's wise.
Sure. I will. I'll open it up and I will say, Yoan, tell him to come here.
So relay the message that he says he has some food for you if you walk over towards the open area.
All right, you hear a pretty sizable creature sort of lumbering its way over toward the hatch.
All right. I'm going to give it the food and cast Animal Friendship.
Okay.
Cast it on it.
All right. That is wisdom. Okay. Um. What's your DC?
16.
You don't get the impression this worked.
Shit.
Wait,
It's just saying you don't have any harm.
Yeah, that was basically all I was trying to do, was just let it know I don't mean any harm.
You just hear kind of a from inside.
Well, here goes nothing. I'll jump in.
All right. So you
I-
hop down.
I'm gonna make sure not to land on it.
Okay.
And wherever it is, I will, give it plenty of space.
All right.
Still,
So yeah.
Not being any aggressive at all towards it.
Yeah, you hop down, and before you now, in the kind of dim light that's been let in through the hatch, you can see a little more clearly. You are now in the back of a wagon with a large, armored, saber-toothed tiger.
Hey,
Oh,
little
that's
tiger.
sweet.
It just sort of eyes you suspiciously, but doesn't really seem to, make any aggressive moves or anything.
I say, hey, Yoan, tell him I really like his armor. It's cool.
He really likes your armor.
The tiger gives the equivalent of a shrug.
Last thing, Yoan, ask
You-
him
wait,
where
wait.
he. What?
I'm gonna say you look fearsome.
uh, the tiger just sort of, gives an unexpecting, thank you.
Ask him where he wants me to go.
Where would be the best place for him to go to be out of your way?
Where he is fine.
You're good there.
Okay, I sit down, cross my legs, and I say, does it want music? Does it like music?
Do you like music?
It's okay.
He says it's okay.
Alright, I'll pull out my didgeridoo and.
The tiger walks over and just like smacks the didgeridoo out of your hand.
Right! Pick it up and I'll put it back in my little pouch. Which, Eric, I'll talk to you about later.
I wanna peek down and look in.
Yeah, you see an armored saber-toothed tiger wearing essentially a set of half plates sized for a tiger.
That's awesome.
While I'm down here, can I Arcana check to see if I can figure out what that thing was I Arcana checked before?
Sure. It actually doesn't seem to be in this chamber of the wagon.
Oh. There's another chamber. Okay. No worries, I was just curious.
In a general sense, you gather that it's kind of something maybe tucked away under the front, like the seat, the driver's seat.
Oh. So I know where it is now.
You got a pretty good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just sit there and kind of just relax, knowing this thing's not, just chill with it.
I was Can I go down too?
You just want to hop down?
Asking Yolan.
Maybe a few too many there, Malkar.
I don't think so, Malcolm. He only has so much room.
I could make room, transport stuff to the far realm.
What'd you say? No, I couldn't understand.
I said I could make room, transport stuff to the far realm.
Let's not do that either.
In the meantime, as you're having the conversation, the tiger kind of like slowly approaches Ron. Just gives a couple big sniffs, just. And then a snort. And turns around, kind of turns its back on Ron, and goes and curls up in the opposite corner.
Okay. I take it we're keeping the hatch open, so that
I'll close it. Can't the tiger get out?
We'll make better time with it closed.
I yell out,
Probably
hey,
you probably should have asked before it got closed.
yeah, can I yell out and say, hey, is there a window in here or something where I can get a little bit of light?
Pop back open the hatch. I don't see one.
That was more directed at Rictavio.
If you had a wagon that was designed for transporting a tiger, would you put a window in it?
That's a whole different discussion. But fair enough. Alright, then in that case, Yolan, can you ask him if he wouldn't mind if I have a light down here?
I'm sorry to disturb your sleep, but would you mind if he lit a light?
There's kind of a pause. And the tiger is just like, as long as he keeps it away from me.
Okay. You can have a light, just keep it away from him.
Okay. I'll pull out a torch and prestidigitation light it, but keep the flame really low.
Cast it on its armor.
What?
That's it, cast it on its armor.
Cast what?
Light spell. Or
sound like
You would be in a wind tunnel.
dragging your mic along gravel.
My cat, he's rubbing against it in my face.
Well, but yes, I will pull out a torch and cast prestidigitation on it and keep it low.
Alright. So, at this point, Ron, go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception check.
Okay.
Everything's fine?
You get eaten.
And you don't even notice.
What is that strange feeling I have in my... Oh, my leg's gone. Huh? Oh, well.
No, so, yeah, what's everybody else doing?
Riding on the wagon.
What?
Riding on the wagon.
Something about getting on the wagon?
Riding on the wagon.
Okay.
Yeah, just riding wagon.
Alright. So,
Asking Octavio about his travels.
alright. And, yeah, he, continues just relaying all the, interesting encounters he's had over the years. Many of which you've already actually heard about. But, he certainly seems to enjoy, rattling off all of his old, adventures, so to speak. But yeah, you hear... Let's see. Well, he tells you about that one time he met a pair of conjoined goblins.
You alright?
And he seems to be having some trouble remembering whether or not this was an actual encounter of his, or whether perhaps it was just some intoxicated hallucination of his, but something about a small man with no legs named Fillmore Stunk, who could drink whole casks of wine without getting drunk. But yeah, so it's certainly colorful company. Interesting stories, or at least strange stories, to keep you somewhat entertained throughout the wagon ride back to the village of Vallaki. Let's see. So as you depart from the winery and make your way through first the kind of forest trail and then back to the road itself that you had been escorted in on. You notice that Rictavio seems to turn off into a lesser used path that you're not entirely sure you had seen on the way in. As you continue on, you notice the woods getting thicker, darker, quieter. You ride quickly past another branch in the trail that you can see overlooks a bit of water, and this old, kind of dilapidated looking tower standing out toward the center of it, sort of a little peninsula kind of setup. But
I want to ask him what that is.
You want to ask Octavio what that is?
Yeah.
All right. So as you're like speeding by the path that branches off toward that, is I'm really not sure. It's some old tower, I think. Haven't really seen fit to stop by probably not the best idea to go poking around things you're not familiar with here in Barovia.
So we didn't take this path going out. This the shortcut, or
Yes, it saves you from having to go all the way down south near Argenvostold. Allows the quick passage more directly through the woods.
okay.
And yeah, it's a pretty long stretch on a lesser used road. Winds taking several curves through the darkened, thicker portions of the wood. This stretch of the trip goes on for, probably 20 minutes, half an hour or so, before, as though nothing had happened, you just find yourselves coming across what you recognize to be the old Svalak Road once again. And you find yourselves just across the bridge from the outskirts of Valaki.
Sometime in there, I would like to have cast Sending to Escher.
Okay.
With a message just saying, Valaki having trouble now. I'm counting my words so I know exactly where to end it.
Mm-hmm.
Revolution happening. Concert may be put off a bit longer. Wine is flowing now. May have to wait a little while longer. That's should be 22.
Okay. So yeah, you send that off, and you just get a short, simple response from Escher. The master knows.
Cool. Okay.
Alright. So as you sort of merge back onto the old Svalak Road and cross the bridge back into Valaki, Rictavio kind of pulls off into kind of a sort of branch from the road, leads into the woods, and says, "So, how do you wish to proceed?"
I say into his mind, depends which one do you think will put up the most fight.
Will
Sorry,
somebody let me out of here? Please open up, please. I think we stopped.
I go and try and reach my hands down and try and lift Ron out. Kind of like trying to hook my foot on the side of the thing.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead, Yoan and Ron make athletics checks.
Oh boy. Real winners are rolls that you're getting for me.
At first I'm like, how did I roll a 4? I have a +7.
You rolled a -3. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Evidently, I can't help or do much of anything. So.
Yeah, so Yoan, as you kind of stretch down to help Ron up, you realize, yeah, he really is. All of the terrible stereotypes you've heard about bards being little Nancy boys who could never earn a living doing an honest day's work. That is the epitome of the glorious Ron Fosborn that you see in front of you right now. He just sort of hangs there, dead weight, as you attempt to pull him up.
Unfortunately, I'm used to his type.
But yeah, eventually you're kind of able to haul him up like a dead fish.
Hey, thanks, Joan. I'm glad it was, it was so quick. Usually it takes longer, but I was able to help you this time.
Do you want me to write you a strength building exercise for you to do? Like an exercise plan?
I always thought I was pretty strong, and I flex, and you just see my muscle go wee and hang down, cartoon style. That's something we could possibly work on. I'm not that strong. I've always been better at, yelling at people.
Well, when your muscle turns down cartoon, like I'm just gonna.
But check this out. I can do this, and I snap my fingers in Eldritch Blast, and just blow the leaf blower. Yeah, I'm pretty weak, aren't I?
Yeah.
I take a negative to my Bardic inspiration. I'm now not as full of myself as I was before.
So, what was Malkar saying a second ago?
I don't remember.
He said it depends on which one puts up less of a fight, or something.
Yeah. Whatever Rictavio said.
Because he asked, how do you want to do this, basically? And
Yeah, like how would you like to proceed?
Yeah.
fancy words for how do you want to do this?
Well, you were the last one in here. What do you think would be the best way?
Fingers blazing. Pew pew! As I shoot off 2 prestidigitation little fireworks. Not screechers or explosions, just almost like a flare, just.
Okay.
I'll make a screecher.
What?
I'll make a screecher.
The screaming battle rockets.
Yeah, upon being asked about last time he was here, Rictavio just says, well, as I was taking my leave last time, the Burgomaster and his family had been more or less confined to their mansion, so perhaps that's held, perhaps it hasn't, but we would do well to avoid that part of town, I believe. Beyond that, really didn't see much of a guard presence away from the mansion, so best I could gather, they're all probably trying to protect their leader, or whatever you would call him at this point.
We set the house down? Put it down?
No. Let's go talk to Danica. Let's go see what she has to say on the whole matter before we make any decisions.
Yeah.
I'm amazed by my own wisdom at this point. Sometimes it happens.
Is there any houses nearby that we're gonna walk past real quick?
So, essentially, you're going to be walking in through the west gate of Vallaki. And where's that?
Oh, we don't have the one we had labeled before.
Oh, yeah, that's because when I had to...
Oh.
update, it didn't carry the art over.
Which one was it that we destroyed?
You destroyed right here. Yep.
Okay.
So we're like right here.
Yeah.
I want to do a sleight of hand check and attempt to burn one of those houses down. Burn one of the houses down.
Okay, well, first of all, as you're making your way through the west gate, you notice that there's not even anyone standing guard. The gates are closed, but there are no guards posted.
Going in and burning a house down.
Are the gates locked?
It would seem so.
Aww.
Can I yell, "We have wine," really loudly?
All right. So yeah, in his somewhat booming half-orc voice, Yoan just, "We have wine." Hold a couple moments, but before long, you do hear the splashing of somewhat hurried footprints in the soggy earth beyond the gate, and eventually you do see. Looks to be just some commoner up in the gatehouse, kind of looking down on the party. Just kind of squints and takes in the party as a whole and just says, "You have wine?"
Yes, we come from Wizards of Wines.
How do I know you are not of the devil?
We hadn't killed you yet?
I mean, I don't know, you can come try our wine? You can throw holy water at us?
Not
Man.
at me. I don't wanna. I don't prefer to get wet.
You can make yourself dry again.
Yeah, but that's a lot of effort. How about this? And I'll fire like just a white, pure white flare. Prestidigitation. Could somebody of the devil do that?
Probably.
Ah, shit.
This guy just looked like a civilian.
I mean, like, well, we were here before. We left
Yeah,
to
he-
go get wine.
And yes, he
we came
definitely
back.
looks like a civilian. And with that, just bursts into flame, and from what you can hear, falls off the back ledge and just down in the mud.
What just happened?
I don't know. He just spontaneously combusted. I didn't see anything.
Use thaumaturgy. Oh no, I can't. Gotta be unlocked.
Well, now we're still locked outside of a cage. Outside of the city.
I make Yoan's voice boom 3 times louder. Try again. Maybe we'll get someone incompetent.
We have wine.
Alright. Before too long, you see what looks like, well, perhaps a while ago, may have been a guard. Kind of tattered, unkempt uniform. Certainly a bit quieter in the approach than the last guy. Comes and kind of pokes his head over the top of the wall. Says, "It's true then."
Yes, yes. Whatever you've heard is true. Just let us in.
And where are you going?
Blue Water Inn to deliver this wine.
Fair enough. And with a notable amount of effort, as this is typically a two-person job, you hear him begin to get the gates to sort of grind open, fighting through the built-up mud and muck on the ground. But eventually swinging things far enough for you to be able to get yourselves and the wagon into Vallaki.
Sweet. Do I see the civilian?
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Yes, you do in fact see the smoldering remains of the civilian that had denied you entry into Vallaki.
Well, like, as soon as like the gate gets up enough to where I can run in, can I run in and is he like just laying there at the bottom of like a ladder or something, or is he kind of hidden?
He's pretty much out in the open. He just fell off a platform that kind of spans the top part of the wall.
Can I quickly try to rifle through his pockets just to see what he's got?
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception.
You find a single extra crispy bit of fish.
I'll taste it.
It tastes like charcoal.
I've had worse. I will munch on it.
Is there a possibility that I can do a ritual and send the body to Cthulhu? Or send his soul to Cthulhu?
Using what means, per se?
Just some kind of ritual?
The ritual of sending souls to Cthulhu.
Is there...
I have not seen this yet, so unless you want me to see that the guy that was previously talking to us is now dead on the ground.
Well, is that something that Yoan would be looking for, or is he just like, okay, we're in?
I'm not looking for it. I don't know where that guy was. I guess I'll be looking for where the other guy possibly could have gone. So, sure.
Okay, and I would say you'd probably see it from that. You know, it's not hard to miss. Or, it is hard to miss, sorry.
Would I see it?
You would.
Like, what happened to him? But not too loudly so that a civilian doesn't hear.
I will cast a message and say, I don't know, but come help me search this guy's pockets. I found some fish. You want to taste?
No.
Oh.
Anything interesting in his pocket? I'm saying no to the fish.
Oh.
I don't want a random person's fish.
It's not bad. Crunch.
Yoan, go ahead and make a perception check.
Woo!
Alright, you also find in one of the man's pockets 3 silver coins.
I'll pocket.
Okay.
What'd you find? Did you find any more fish?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so stretching up before you, you see the eerily empty main street that runs through Vallaki. Just ahead of you, off to the left, you can see St. Andrew's Cathedral. Just kind of looming there. And
just kind of looming.
Yeah. And a few plumes of smoke floating up from various points in the city. So, are you beelining it then for the blue water?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you proceed to the center of town. Passing by the two, the two side streets off to your right that would eventually maybe lead you to the Burgomaster's mansion. Especially as you clear the last intersection on the way to the Blue Water, you can see what looks like a pretty sizable, angry mob that's gathered down the road in that vicinity. But the main thoroughfare seems pretty clear. So upon reaching the Blue Water, what would you like to do?
Set it ablaze, Kappa.
Go it. Say we brought wine.
Okay.
But we might want to deal with it pretty quickly due to what's happening outside.
Alright.
I guess whoever's attending the bar.
It's Danica.
Of course it's Danica. Who else works the bar here?
That's it. Oh, I'll go, hi, Danica. I'll have a thing. Oh, right. We got you some wine. Can I have a glass of wine?
Here, have some wine. Can I have some wine?
Yep. Pretty much.
Alright, so yeah, as you lug the 4 barrels of wine into the Blue Water, Danica promptly gets one of them set up and begins drawing drinks from it. This one seems to just be a barrel of purple grape mash, so nothing especially fancy, but it's wine, and they haven't seen wine here in a few days. But, yeah, so she pours you a drink, and... So, what news of family over at the winery?
They're safe now. Some druids took their growing seed thing and used it to try and take it over with blight.
They made a big, giant, walkie thing that tried to eat me.
Yeah, we destroyed that and cleared out all, if not most, druids.
It's some ugly ass tree too.
Yeah.
We beat that too. Yeah, our entire trip there was basically beating the shit out of druids.
And trees.
Yeah.
And lock.
Yeah.
But everything's good now.
And
so
Winter Splinter.
No need to worry.
Winter Splinter. That is the thing.
Oh, it is good to see you return safely. Kind of looks around and says, may we speak for a moment in private?
I cast a message and say, by the way, your father-in-law sends his regards.
She, pauses and says, well, I suppose it's good that he's made it this far. Don't know what the family would do without him.
Is there a reply in the message, or?
Yeah.
I sent another message and say, if you want to talk like this, it would probably be the best way to make sure we're unheard. If I have to do multiple casts, I will.
Okay. So yeah, just kind of assume that the conversation is going on in hidden.
Yes,
Is
and
Mel
Oh, go ahead.
is Melkar here? Where's Rictavio?
Rictavio has helped you load in.
I'm here.
I'm gonna message Malkar and say, "Open your mind up. Danica has something to talk about with us."
You can only talk one person at a time like that.
Oh, fair enough. Well, okay.
It'll be like an interpreter.
Yeah.
She'll tell him who to tell us.
Or she'll tell one of us to. Okay, yeah, I'll tell Malkar just to tell the rest. So she tells me, I tell Malkar, he tells everybody else.
Okay.
Telephone
game.
Yes.
Yep. All right. So let's see here. All right. So before getting too far into the details, you see Danica kind of duck back into the kitchen really quick, and you see her kind of conferring with Erwin a little bit. He then kind of heads back deeper into the building, a little bit further back than you've seen, kind of out of sight.
Before he
And
does, can I cast message on him and say your father as well?
all right. He doesn't respond, but he does kind of look at you as if to say, "Oh, I know that was you," and this kind of acknowledgement, really.
Okay.
All right. So then, Danica comes back to the bar and says, in hidden, "I'm glad you were able to bring us what we needed, and know that you are all safe. And better yet, you have proven yourselves to be strong potential allies in the fight against the devil. As such, I think we have something that could be of use to you."
Spill the beans.
I relay Malkar's excitement.
Alright. She says, "For this next part, we really should meet in a private room, perhaps the one where you stayed last time.
Okay.
This is very sensitive, and well, if we're going to give you something, it'd be best to do so away from prying eyes."
As she's talking, I've already started walking up the stairs.
Okay.
And then as an afterthought, I say, "Follow me, Malkar," in hidden.
Okay.
I just look at both of you and just assume and get up and head after you.
Okay.
Alright. So, as you all kind of file upstairs and, enter the larger room that you had previously occupied, you find that Erwin is already there. And in his hand, you see what looks to be like a jewelry box of sorts. And as Danica kind of, comes in, bringing up the rear, closing and locking the door behind her, she actually speaks out loud now. "We have managed to recover a certain artifact that we believe could be of great use in a fight against the devil. none of us are equipped to use it, and to be quite honest, I don't know that any of you are either. But should you come across someone in your travels, or should any of you uh, take up the, um, well, become ordained in a sense, this could prove invaluable. He kind of gestures over to Erwin, who opens the box to reveal what looks to be a larger, like a pendant, in the shape of a silver sun, a gold chain affixed to the top of it. In the center of the sun, you just see a large, perfectly carved ruby, around which are a number of patterns etched in the silver around it.
Does it look like writing?
What was that?
Does it look like writing?
Not really. And actually, I'd like you guys to all make a perception check. Okay. So Yoan and Malkar, as you're kind of taking it in, you realize that this thing is actually, this isn't silver, this is platinum you're looking at. And there is just this sense of power, even just laying eyes upon this thing, you can tell that it is a massively powerful artifact. As Erwin walks over and presents it to the group, Danica goes on to say that, well, as I have mentioned, this is something that can only be truly utilized by someone of a holy order. But, well, it shall prove quite helpful. And Erwin hands it over. Who would like to take this?
Taking it for identifying purposes.
Okay.
Do you snatch it, or do you just take it?
I'll just grab it normally.
Alright. So, yes, as Malkar takes it in a totally normal fashion, Erwin also kind of chimes in and just says, "You have my thanks for paying a visit to my family and ensuring their safety. And, of course, for bringing more wine, as this is the lifeblood of Barovia, as I'm sure many would tell you."
Just a little fair warning, they may be a little late on getting another shipment out. The druids that ransacked the place kind of ruined all the wine. All the wine.
Well, as long as the family is alive to continue the tradition, a minor interruption is not such a large problem.
Okay.
I want to start identifying this thing.
Okay.
So I turn to them to say that, yeah, he's just identifying it, so he knows the full extent of what it can do. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, for the people, not for you.
Okay.
Do you know who Vaughn was?
They kind of look at each other, both seemingly clueless on this, and Erwin just says, "I do not know this name."
Okay.
Who'd you ask about?
Kavan.
All right.
I cast message on Danica and say, by the way, I now know why you're friends with Raven people. I won't tell, though.
She, you said you messaged her that?
Yes.
Okay. Says, well, that would probably be in your best interest as well, as we may also prove to be staunch allies in the fight against the devil.
True.
By the way, Melkar, you should have a new journal entry.
Hot damn. I don't see any description on it though.
Really?
Just a picture.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Alright. Let me move this, because this really should have been... Yeah, I see what they did. They put all that stuff in the GM notes thing, which doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that up there. Now you should see stuff.
Now I see stuff.
What is this stuff? Do you let us know?
I gotta read it first.
Could just copy and paste.
Unless he wants to omit something.
Exactly.
Ooh.
You just hear Melkar making all these oohs and ahs while touching it. I messaged Melkar, what does it say? Or what is it?
It'd be nice, but none of us can use it. Has to be used by a has to be attuned by a cleric or paladin of good alignment.
What does it do?
What does it matter? What does it do if you can't even use it?
I know, I'm just curious.
Okay. Make copy.
You don't have to copy paste, I'm sure Eric can probably just share the note with us.
Yeah, I could do that.
Alright, go ahead and do that.
Alright, so you're sharing all the details then.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, all of that was going on in message.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we're just kind of standing there staring at each other. Ooh, that looks sick.
I put it on. So I burst into flames.
It certainly makes you feel a bit uncomfortable.
Embrace the madness, am I right?
What was that, Brown?
Embrace the madness, am I right?
Damn, that is pretty sweet. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit of holy light come into my life. Oh, I'm just kidding.
I suddenly become chaotic good, a paladin warlock for Cthulhu.
You possibly could, if you could catch his notice. I messaged Melkar, well, this has been a bust of a reward.
You only sell it.
Agreed.
About how much is this weigh?
Are you asking them?
Asking Eric.
Oh.
Let's see. It probably weighs somewhere in the vicinity of like, call it like quarter of a pound.
Alright.
We could sell it, get some real mediocre shit that we can actually use. I don't think any of it... Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't think any of us are gonna pick up and become a holy man, either of us.
We could find that guy we bought the vampires with before, and maybe trade that with him for something more helpful.
The guy that we fought, that was Rictavio and the general of Shithead's army here. That was Strasny.
There was somebody
No.
else.
Oh, was there?
The character that Alex was playing.
Oh, yeah. We could. Okay. Yeah, do we want to go find Blacklight?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, this
Have
is
you
a
ever
pretty
rolled
holy
your
thing.
eyes so hard that you would have to move your head and then your neck cracks? That's just what happened.
You could just say get good.
Alright, I guess we'll go to Blacklight and give him the OP, super OP pendant.
Okay. Well, let's pick things up from there next time.
Okay.